Okay, so I'm doing a test in the middle of the day. It's actually about 1 o'clock p.m. So I'm 3D printing new wheels for the sofa, the new casters, because the casters that I previously printed them for the other sofa I had before, and the other sofa I used to have was a lot lighter. Well, this other sofa is so heavy. It's really heavy. It feels like twice as heavy as the other one. It must be made out of some. There must be some big heavy springs in it or something because I keep breaking my wheels, my casters. So I'm 3D printing some new solid ones. Well, basically 90% infill. I decided not to go with 100% infill because they might squeeze. The plastic might ooze a little bit too much, and it might end up causing some issues. So I'm going at 90% infill, which is a lot higher than previously. Also, some slight design tweaks to this new um, caster. I've also printed new wheels, and they're going to be solid as well. So hopefully this one won't break. So I'm basically going to be having to 3D print 4 new wheels casters for this sofa, and it's going to take about 6.5 hours to print each one. So I'm going to have to probably do one a day, something like that, because the 3D printer gives me a headache after a while. So we'll see how that goes. So I'm going to mute sound because I just want to see how this goes, see if the live stream is working. shut the browser down on the computer, so I'm monitoring it on my phone. And it seems to work a lot better actually. Well, I need to get a lightweight browser. Firefox tends to be a guzzler. It really eats up CPU. So yeah, I'm just thinking about getting a different browser on the Ubuntu system, because you know what Firefox is like. I mean, it does eat quite a lot of CPU time cycles. Even with 6 cores, it's struggling at the moment to stream. So I've got CPU on walk speed, so it's not right. Okay, my audio's coming through now. It's a huge delay. Right. Oh, at least I know the audio's coming through. Right, so I've switched my audio, so I mean my phone, to data. My phone service renews the data package tonight anyway, so I thought I might as well instead of using the internet through that I'm streaming on, instead of streaming on the same um, ISP as what I'm watching on my phone, I decided to switch to my data on my phone, switch on a different network. That way I can monitor to see how, if it improves the actual throughput of the signal, the stream. Because it's worth finding this stuff out, because if I do stream at some point, when I'm doing something useful, I know what to do, what not to do, and stuff like that basically. Because my internet provider's a little bit, yeah, at the moment. Obviously it's variable, so I mean it might be worse on some days than others. So anyway, we'll see what happens. So I wanted to add something actually about the old phone, the mobile phone that I've been using, what I'm using at the moment to stream. The sound on it doesn't work, so I'm using a microphone that's plugged in as audio input capture device, which is basically capturing directly from the hardware, which is my crystal microphone, and it's actually doing a pretty good job actually compared to what the previous software I used to use, which was Streamlabs some years back on XP. I used to get a lot more noise on. Oh, hang on a minute. I forgot. How do I mute this? I'll just turn it down. I'm getting feedback on my phone now. So yeah. So the phone. I installed an app, and Google said it was no longer valid. So it said it wasn't secured by Google because the latest app doesn't work. It just kept crashing and all weird stuff was happening on the screen, and it wouldn't auto rotate when you flick the screen sideways. And it would just, there was all sorts of problems with the latest app. So so I went back to an older app, and it wasn't one from the Google Play Store. It was one from the internet, from the actual developer's website, and that one worked. Right, the audio was working. I rebooted the phone later on. I shut it down, and when I started it again, the audio wasn't working again. I thought, what the hell? Didn't make sense. So I thought, well, maybe this app is buggy as well. So I uninstalled that app, and I went back even further to another older app. I think it's 3.62151. Yeah, no, hang on. 3.62151. So I went back to that version, and then that worked. The audio was working. I thought, oh, I fixed it, right? No, well, I rebooted it. I thought I'll just check. I rebooted the phone, and the audio wouldn't work on that either. So I don't know. It's just, there's so much weird stuff going on. It's driving me crazy. Anyway, so I got this webcam ordered, and hopefully I won't have to mess about with an external microphone source. The webcam is USB, so it should be hardware compatible, and there won't be a lag on it, there won't be any delay on it, it should be instant. So because it's not going through a network, it's not going through the two routers, and you know what I mean, because at the moment my live stream is going through two routers, and there's all that switching going on, because every time it goes through a switch, it stores packets, then it waits, it delivers some packets on a different network, for example, then it switches back and sends the packets through. That's what causes the delay on a network. It's the switching. So USB doesn't use switching, it's basically instantaneous, so yeah, it should be a lot more reliable. Anyway, well, as I say at the beginning, this is a test to see how stable it is during the daytime. I thought, well, I don't want to waste, if I start doing my research again, right, the last thing I want to be doing is spending an hour or two doing research, and it's stuff that you can't repeat, you know what I mean? It's research that you just can't duplicate. I don't want to be doing that, then find out that the live stream didn't work or it went wrong. So I think the best thing to do is to just live stream the 3D printer, because it's not really any skin off my back, if you know what I mean. I had to print these wheels for the sofa because the wheels I printed for the previous sofa weren't strong enough, they kept breaking. So I'm 3D printing 90% solid infill wheels, and I've got 4 to print, so I figured why not test it out while I'm doing this. Then we've got motion, because we can see the print head moving around, we've got the bed moving around, the print bed, so we've got motion there, and we can test to make sure see how well it performs without dropping frames and stuff like that. So that's the reason why I'm live streaming right now. It's just a test, really, because I know people don't like watching 3D printers very long. It's kind of like watching paint dry. Anyway, I'm going to eat my other sandwich. I'll leave the sound on for a bit to see how it goes. I wanted to check for lag. I mean, see if it buffers more with the audio on. I mean, I'm not saying that this is the worst time of day to be live streaming. It's not particularly the worst time of the day. It's the middle of the afternoon. It's about 2 p.m. I would guess that the worst time of day to be live streaming is probably 5 p.m. to 6 p.m. around tea time, because loads of people are sitting down for tea. They're using the phones or they're live streaming as well. But yeah, probably I think usually anywhere between 5 p.m. and about 11 p.m. is a bad period for streaming. It's a bad time of day. So that's, I usually try to live stream around 9 p.m. though, but it usually works out if I'm just on my phone. So what I have been doing lately, you probably noticed this, I've been live streaming at a different time in the middle, say late at night, and I've been saving it as a video, unlisted video. I've been saving it to basically premiere it at 9 p.m. on a different day. But I do it that way, I get much better streaming, because I'm streaming it at the minimum time of day when there's no traffic jam, you know what I mean, with the internet, and it seems to work quite well. But it's the worst time of day for people to watch it, because most people aren't up that late. So what I usually just do is unlist it, and then I'll premiere it to show on Friday or Saturdays or Sundays, and it seems to work pretty well doing it that way. I got some of this cappuccino coffee, right? I'm not impressed with it. It doesn't taste like real cappuccino to me. It's probably a different blend. I won't be buying it again anyway. I just thought I'd treat myself to something, like I like cappuccinos, and I generally don't go to coffee shops. And let's face it, right now in the UK, the inflation has gone completely bonkers right now. A guy went into a cafe and had a cup of coffee, cost him £3, £3, £3 UK sterling. That is bonkers. He said, well, he won't be going there again, and most people have got the same attitude. You know, it's just ridiculous. I mean, you can't afford to spend that kind of money. The whole system is rigged against us right now. It's just, yeah, crazy, and it's all been caused by, ever since the pandemic and the oil crisis, everything else, all of that creating this problem, and I just hope we can get out of it. I really do, but you know, it's not looking good. It really isn't. All the forecasts are saying basically, well, that we're in for a really deep, long recession. But there's a lot of stuff I know which I can't really talk about on YouTube, because I probably get blacklisted or something. All I can really say is that around 15-20 years ago, I saw the whole plan. Right? So I know what's coming, but I can't really talk about it because I'm not willing to risk my channel for that. I mean, people will figure it out. I mean, look what happened to Matt Graham and a few people on talk radio. They're following the guidelines of the broadcasting commission. They're following guidelines, and they can only say what they're allowed to say, right? Even so, Julie Hartley Brewer's show, whatever shows that she did, just disappeared. Gone. Like that. Censored. And there's a number of journalists who are currently having a really hard time right now. They're being watched by, yeah. Oh, it's gone completely bonkers. It really has. What the hell was that? Ping! another thing about the old phone is it seems to have been compromised, as in by the developers, or the Chinese developers, that is Huawei, because it recently just slowed right down to a crawl. I mean, it's like hardware acceleration's not turned on anymore or something, because when I start the phone up, I keep getting messages come up on the screen saying, uh, your phone, sorry, your phone is not responding, or this app is not responding. And two options basically: wait or close. Well, I keep having to click the wait box every time it comes up, and that usually happens when you first start the phone up. After about 10, 15, 20 minutes, it settles down. It seems to be okay, which is what I'm streaming on now. I went into the settings to try to disable certain apps that automatically start up when you boot the phone, and I can't find the menu anywhere. It's just gone. But Huawei's deliberately hidden it from me or something, because I can't find it. Where you can disable certain features from loading at startup, right? Well, they're not there. I've even been into the advanced developer menu options, and they're not in there either. So I don't know where the hell that option went. And when I go to the main Huawei menu and click on that, it's checked, but you can't uncheck it, you can't do anything with it, and so yeah, I think that old phone is on borrowed time, to be honest with you. I don't know, I might take it up to the phone shop, see if they can figure out what's going on with it, because I haven't a clue. Mobile phones are not my main, all this digital stuff is not my thing. It's never been my thing. I've written a few batch files. I enjoyed writing a few batch files. Now I'm having to learn Ubuntu. I'm having to learn how to write scripts to automatically update certain applications that I've manually installed, right? I'm having to learn some basic scripting for sudo, all that stuff. So I really don't want to learn it, but it's better than being on Microsoft, because let's face it, it's totally bloatware on there. I mean, I've heard stories about, I couldn't believe it, Windows 11 and Windows 12 coming out now, and everyone's moaning because it's just bloated, completely bloated. There's like 150 or some services running on it when you start it up. It's just crazy. When you start up Windows XP, you probably have maybe 5 or 6 services running, maybe 10, but they're not running all the time, right? You can use the computer. You've got resources free. You can use the computer, but the problem is these big operating systems require more memory, more hardware, faster CPUs, and the bottom line is the energy guzzlers. They really use a lot of energy, right? Talk about saving the environment. These operating systems definitely don't do that. So I'm glad I'm still using XP, because it doesn't use a lot of it doesn't use much electric. When it's idling, it's idling. It really isn't doing much at all. But these other operating systems like Windows 10, 11 and 12, I mean, they're constantly doing stuff, and they're using a lot of electric and energy, and you're paying for it. When you're running those operating systems, you're paying for it. You're paying the electric bill for somebody to spy on you, which is kind of crazy. You know? I don't know, the world is going bonkers. It's already gone bonkers, it's just getting more bonkers. Well, this live stream's working pretty well so far, apart from the odd dropout, which is not too serious, but... And I'm going to mute myself again for a bit. Actually, I just thought, do you want to hear the 3D printer in stereo? Let me move the microphone. I don't know why, but actually, I just thought, do you want to hear the 3D printer in stereo? I'm monitoring myself again. Hang on. I'll put this chair over here. I can't put the microphone directly on this table. The table because it will vibrate. Well, you'll be glad to know. You'll be glad to know that this live stream is not going to last forever because the print is only 6 hours long, and the battery on the phone is slowly going down. Well, the live stream phone is at 68%, so yeah, even though it's on charge, well. was saying earlier, there's a lot going on. You just can't tell people about it because they just don't believe you. They think you're nuts. Mind you, more people are waking up, but they've got to find it out for themselves. They've got to do their own research. That's the only way you find anything out. You can't be spoon-fed all your life. I mean, we're all grown ups, aren't we? I mean, it's only babies that are spoon-fed. I mean, talking about the main media, they're spoon-feed you, You got to do your own homework. When I was little, we were always taught, you want to learn something, you've got to go and do the work. You've got to do the legwork. You've got to walk. You've got to go to the library. You've got to read books. You've got to do it the right way. These people that just broadcast news to you, they've got their own agenda. It's not our agenda, it's their agenda. If you want to know the truth, you've got to do the homework. I mean, just remember when you were at school, the teacher would always say, have you done your homework? And you would say, yes sir, or yes miss. Well, where's that gone? Don't people do homework anymore? I mean, it doesn't stop when you leave school, you're supposed to keep doing it, I think I'll move the microphone back over here because you can't hear me. Besides that, the printer's noisy and it drives me crazy after a while. I'm pretty sure you don't listen to that. Get this shot away. I think I'll move the microphone back over here because you can't hear me. Besides that, printer's noisy and it drives me crazy. I'm pretty sure you don't. The phone I'm watching the preview on, I run out of my data on my provider, but it renews tonight anyway, so I'm not worried about that. But so I'm happy to watch the preview on my main bandwidth again. So it's probably going to cause some issues, some more lag. I don't know. At least the OBS app streamer not crashed on me again like it did the other day. I was doing a little test the other day and it crashed on me. I think it was just a one-off or something. It might have been because I tried to access some input that wasn't there. I don't know. But yeah, this is all I'm trying to do right now is just weed out all the bugs. But there are some bugs I just can't fix. I mean, the bug with the VLC, I still can't get the VLC to work. I don't know why. I think I'm getting a bit closer though, because I did get audio through it yesterday. But even that, the audio didn't come through on the OBS though, so it's still I still haven't figured it all out. Hang on a minute. I'm monitoring the audio at the moment, so you might hear me repeat myself because there's a big lag. What I did notice though, when I was testing the VLC, there was a particular window you could open up, and it showed you the throughput, the actual data that was being sent, and it showed that there was no video data being sent out, or no audio data being sent out, but it was processing it, and every time I tried to use a different codec, it would say this codec is not available, or that cannot access codec, or something. Well, it's packed with codecs, but for some reason it just couldn't seem to run them. I don't know why. It I am running the VLC on Windows XP 64-bit, so that could be the reason. I'm not sure, because it was the 30-bit program, so I'll have to try using the 64-bit program, see if I can figure out that one. The trouble is I'm streaming to a 32-bit OBS Linux system, so it shouldn't make any difference though, because when you're streaming, it's data that's interpreted at the other end, and it's used by the operating system. So it shouldn't make any difference what operating system you're streaming it from and what operating system you're streaming it to. You know what I mean? The data is just data. It's anyway. I'm waffling again, but so I'm basically just thinking aloud at the moment, trying to. Maybe somebody out there's got some idea what's going on with it, because I've used the correct URLs and everything, and I didn't get any errors last time I run it, but it still didn't seem to send any data out. That doesn't make sense. There was no errors at all. It seemed to be working, but it wasn't sending any data out. It said packet data sent 0, audio data packet data audio packet data sent 0. That doesn't add up. Makes sense. I was using the basic standard generic UDP to send the data out, so it should have gone out raw without a codec, but it didn't. So there's something weird going on with it. I had the frame rate set down to really low as well, 1 frame per second, and you can't go wrong with 1 frame per second, but it didn't work. So just a reminder, the VLC is to share my desktop from the XP system over to the Linux system, which is using OBS to stream out to the YouTube. So if I can't share my desktop and XP, you can't watch me using things like SketchUp or audio processing software, which I use in XP. So that's the main reason I wanted to get it working. The only alternative is to stream directly from the camera, which is another reason why I bought the USB webcam, because I can use that to stream from XP's desktop by pointing it at the desktop instead of using my phone. So that's an alternative way of doing it, I suppose. For those that are interested who don't know about 3D printers, it's currently printing a spiral for the wheels, and it's printing at a resolution of 0.2 millimeters. So if you imagine 0.2 millimeters, that is very, very thin. But it doesn't tend to come out at 0.2 because it tends to get squished a bit and it tends to get spread out a bit, like when you squeeze toothpaste out of a tube. It kind of bulges outwards once it comes out the nozzle, you know what I mean? Because it's been pressed up against the solid hard surface, which is the plastic, the hard plastic. So it smooths it out and you get a much better finish. had the central heating guy around today. He was a bit surprised about how much stuff I knew about the central heating system, because he said most people don't know anything about this sort of thing. Because I knew what was the problem was, because basically the hot water has stopped working a few months ago, right? But with the energy crisis, I decided to just leave it turned off because I was worried about paying bills and that. So to wash the pots, I had to boil the kettle just to fill the sink up with hot water, the bowl, to wash my pots. My shower has electric heater on it, so I don't need to use the boiler for that. Hang on, let me just mute this. It's distracting me. So anyway, so I spoke to my housing landlord, you know, and I told them what the problem was. I said it's the three-way switch, right? And I knew that because by putting your hand on the pipe, you could tell that there was no hot water flowing out one end, because you've got your input pipe, which comes from the back boiler, right? So the boiler heats up the water comes up the middle pipe, and then there's I could just visualise how it worked, because it was a solenoid, it's electromagnetic solenoid inside, and the way it works is it controls a steel ball inside. And when I said to him, this guy came to fix it, when I said to him, oh, does it use a electromagnet and a steel ball valve to control the flow of water? He says, yeah, it does actually. He was a bit surprised how I knew that. And I said, well, I've never had it part. I just watch a lot of YouTube videos to do with HVAC videos to do with central heating and all that stuff, you know, that they use in America. And I actually seen how this guy on YouTube, he often cuts open the compressors that failed to diagnose them, to see what went wrong, and they use these reed valves on those. A reed valve is basically a thin piece of brass or copper, very thin, and this material, when it's pressed down, it closes and it stops the flow. But when the gas pressure on the other side is high enough, it presses the reed, which is this thin metal, presses it up, and it allows the gas to flow out. Well, I knew that wouldn't be the way that this central heating system worked, because you'd need a lot more flow for water than you do with gas. So I visualised that it would have a steel ball bearing and electromagnet, and I actually guessed. I haven't actually seen one of these switches, but it's called a Honeywell. Hang on, let me just tell you. Honeywell Home B407, I think it is. But I can't remember the whole number. I've just looked at it and it's too long. It's got a long number on it, but you can probably find it. But it's a three-way switch, and there's electromagnet, and there's no actual connection. There's no actual moving parts in the pipe apart from the ball that shuts the flow of water off. And the way it works is it diverts the water either to the central heating system, which heats up the radiators, or it switches it across to heat hot water up in your tank. So it does both things, and they use a closed system. Technically closed system. They have a reservoir tank which tops it up to compensate for evaporation and stuff, but it uses a heat exchanger inside the hot water tank, and the actual water that flows through the radiators, however, is direct, right? So that's not heat exchange, that's direct through the thing from the back, you know, the back boiler. So the water comes through, and depending on the priority is hot water first, and then the secondary is heating the radiators, right? So what had happened, obviously, over the last 15 years or so, because that's how long it is since it was last serviced, that particular item, you know, that actual valve. What's happened over the last 15 years is the ball has got silted up or corroded, on it kind of got stuck, and the electromagnet could no longer move the ball around, so it was basically stuck in one place, which was in the central heating system. So it was heating the hot water up for the radiators, but it wouldn't move the other way. It wouldn't budge out of the way to allow water to flow through the valve to the hot water system, which uses the heat exchanger. The way, as I said, the way that works is a pipe runs through the water tank, and it goes in. There's a big coil in there, and it comes out the other end, and it goes back to the back boiler to be reheated. So you've got this circuit of hot water running through the tank, and the actual water doesn't actually come in contact with the water in the tank because that's a separate supply. So the water that's in the tank comes from another reservoir tank, which keeps it topped up because you use it when you wash your dishes or when you have a bath or whatever, or wash your face, whatever. So, and the heat exchanger, it was a couple of years ago, one mechanic came around and he said, oh, it'll be a heat exchanger that's gone bad. Well, he was wrong. It wasn't. He said, well, we'd have to rip out the whole system and put a new one in. I thought, that's ridiculous. I thought, oh, no, I'll just wait and see how it goes. Well, that's how it went, and it eventually just quit completely. So they had to come out and put a new valve in, and it works great. I've got hot water again, yay! So I can wash my pots and my pans, and I can have a bath if I want one, which is nice, because I don't often have a bath. I usually have a shower, you know what I mean, because showers are a bit quicker, and I usually hold on to the handrail. So it's nice to be able to soak your feet for a good, half an hour, until water starts getting cold. Because it gets all the hard skin off your feet and that, and it's nice to have a nice long soak. You don't get that privilege when you're in the shower, because you're standing there. You can't keep the shower running for 30 minutes, it'll cost you a fortune. The gas will cost a fortune. And you'd also be wasting a lot of water. And if you turn it off, you're freezing your ass off, you know what I mean? You're standing there in a freezing shower, you can't exactly soak your feet while you're standing naked. So, yeah. Anyway, that's why I like a bath occasionally, because you can just sit there in hot water and you don't have to worry about it, you know what I mean? I prefer it than showers. Showers are great when you're young because you don't have the hard skin problem, As you get older, you get all these hard calluses and things on your feet, and a lot of old people slip and fall and break their necks and, have serious injuries because when you get older, what happens is the dead skin on your heel, on the back of your heel, in your foot, it just melts when you're in water, right? So if you're standing in the shower, right, and that hard skin melts, it's like you stood on soap. It's slippery and you can easily hurt yourself. So the first thing you should do for safety reasons when you're in the shower is get rid of that hard skin on your feet, because it melts and then it's like standing on. There's been so many accidents and people have said, oh, I slipped on a bar of soap. No, they thought they slipped on a bar of soap. No, it's the dead skin that's melting on your heel, and that's when you slip. How many people drop a bar of soap anywhere when you're in the shower? Not very often, I just think. Now, it'll usually roll down to the bottom of the plug hole anyway. It usually go all the way down to the bottom of the bath or whatever. It doesn't usually land under your feet, No, it's the hard skin that's the problem. Once that starts to dissolve in hot water, it's like standing on slippery slime. It's horrible, because I've done it. I've never done it myself, and it slipped on my heel once or twice because it started to go soft and the hard skin was melting away. And you got to use a scrubber thing to clean it off, and pumice stone, yeah. So why am I talking about all this shit? I don't know. It's just my observations I'm talking about. Anyway, as I say, I've got hot water again, so that's good. I just stubbed my toe when I went in the other room. I caught the flipping door joist with my toe. I hate it when I do that. I'm a bit wobbly when I'm walking sometimes. I lose my balance and that. So, yeah, oh, I broke my toenail once doing that. Oh, actually more than once. A few times I've done that in the past. Several times. Well, probably 10, 15, 20 times. I can't think of how many. I've lost count. Yeah, when you break your toenail, that's really bad because you've got to wait till it grows out. I've got this massive bruise on my big toe right now, and I've been looking occasionally at it to see how far it's grown out, and it's only about what? Actually, I'm going to have a look now because I'm afraid this big bruise. It's about right in the middle of my toenail, and it's going to take probably 6 months, 8 months for that to grow out. It's all bloodshot, you know, where I busted it underneath. It's going to take a while for that to grow out. I didn't sleep very long this morning, so I'm going to be having a early night tonight. I am absolutely wiped out. I only had 3 hours sleep last night because I was up quite late trying to sort that VLC out, right? I was trying to figure it out, and it got to like 4 o'clock, 5 o'clock, I think, in the morning, AM. And I thought, oh, sod this. I've got to be awake for about 8 o'clock or so in the morning. And so I went to bed, and then I couldn't sleep, so I was still awake about 6 AM. Finally got to sleep, and then the alarm clock went off at 7. I ignored it, and I kept drifting in and out of sleep because I was keeping my ears peeled for somebody knocking at the door. Anyway, I finally woke up about 9:40 AM, and luckily I was in time because the guy that came to fix the plumbing, he showed up about, what was it, 11 AM? Anyway, I woke up anyway, I sorted that, and so my alarm clock wasn't a lot of good because I set the alarm clock, it made me so I couldn't sleep because I was worried about getting sleep before the alarm went off, you know what I mean? Oh no, these things happen. So this 3D print job is going to be what? I'm at 34.9%. I'm actually at 35% now. And so that's going to be what? Another 4.5 hours, probably 5 hours, something like that. Yeah. Well, at least these new casters, they'll be a lot stronger because they're 90% solid. So my sofa isn't going to keep crushing my wheels and breaking them. Because it's so friggin' heavy, this sofa is. But I've got another 3 of them to print after this, which I'm probably going to do one a day, one set casters a day. Yeah. I think the audio is still way behind. Oh no, sorry, way ahead, because I'm using the mic that's connected to the hardware. So I'm actually talking, and the print that you're seeing on the screen is actually lagging. So the screen is lagging by about what? I don't know how many seconds. Probably 10 seconds. I don't know. It's crazy. I have to figure that out. Let me just show you what I mean. If I clap my hands in front of the phone, you'll see what I mean. Right. So I'm clapping. Right. You'll hear it before you see it, probably. You'll hear it. You see it probably. Oh, I've got to sort that out. That's way out. I don't know how to sort it out though, because the OBS software has a delay on the audio, or an advance on the audio, and the maximum you can do it is 999 milliseconds. That's about 1 second. And we're talking about seconds. Um, I need to delay the video stream by about what, 8 seconds or something silly. Oh, it won't let me do that. So yeah, that's why I was trying so hard to get the audio to work on the phone, because having the audio on the phone, it would mean it has the same lag as the video stream. Well, I'm having to use the microphone that's plugged into the hardware directly to the computer as an alternative, really, because that's the only way I can get audio at the moment. This old phone, and mind you, except when I'm using my other phone. If you're using my new phone, that works. The audio on that works, but it means piping both video streams into the same source menu, and that causes more CPU usage as well. So I'll still figure it out. I've got to. I'm just going to see if I can get a second-hand phone that's decent, that's not crap like this one is. I'll see if I can find one on eBay or something. A reconditioned phone, maybe. Maybe I can pick one up for 30, 40 quid or something that's not as bad as this one. I could use a couple of them actually, 2 or 3. Gives me options then. But can't afford it right now. But anyway, let's face it, look on the bright side. If the world ends, the bright side, if the world ends, I won't need to buy any more phones, will I? Well, I'm not saying it is going to end, but I think it's going to be pretty bad for Europe. Well, I'm in Europe, so yeah, it's probably not going to be good for people like me in England. Well, I'm not worried, I don't care anymore, I really don't. I've tried my best to help people with my YouTube videos on researching free energy, but I come to the conclusion sometimes that what's the point if there's not going to be anyone around to use it? So, yeah. Like building, it's building a skyscraper, right? It's like you put your heart and soul into it, right? only for it to get knocked down by a tsunami, right? Basically, we're heading into a tsunami, right? Europe is anyway. I don't know about the USA. I think they're doing okay so far. I don't know, but yeah, I don't know. I think it's a global thing. Oh, did you see that AI prediction? Apparently, that the world's going to end within 30 years. No, I don't think 30 years. I think 3 years, maybe more likely. I think they've added a zero to that. Yeah. Yeah, someone's coming, that's for sure. I don't know if it's a big asteroid that's coming our way, because they've been doing a lot of research and trying to deflect asteroids. I think they're getting ready for something like that. It's either that that's going to trigger World War Three, or World War Three is going to be what causes it. I don't know. It's, I don't. That's one thing I don't know. I don't know if it's a nuke or if it's an asteroid, but it's one or the other. That's for sure. But someone's coming for sure, because what they're trying to do at the moment is damage the vegetation by reducing population. There's less mess to clean up afterwards, right? Because all these elites that go and live underground and in the secret bunkers, right? They don't really come and finding skeletons lying around everywhere, do they? It would not be pretty. Oh well. I think the closest analogy is Terminator. I think Terminator, first movie, really, something like that. Nightmares, but yeah. Hey, we're eternal. Don't worry about it. We're eternal. We live forever. We're spirit. We're spiritual beings. These physical bodies are just another, like a car. You know, you get in and drive it for a while. So when you die, you don't really die. You just move into a different realm. You move into a different reality, a different, well, multiverse. We're in a multiverse, right? So there's loads of alternate universes, and you just move into a different body, right? In a different universe, right? But you don't wake up kind of like that. You kind of merge with a duplicate soul of yourself. So there'll be other parallel universes where none of this shit's gonna happen. So it'll be fine. Don't worry about it. I've actually had a glimpse of the alternate universe. I've had a glimpse of it. Ah, I had nice wallpaper as well. Yeah, pretty cool. Because I decorated it for a long time. Well, the other universe I must have decorated because I had nice wallpaper. Hmm. I had a glimpse of it. I didn't see it very long. A few seconds. I wish I'd seen a bit more. Maybe probably a good idea. Maybe it's a good thing I didn't see a lot more, because I might have been so envious. I might have seen so much more. If I'd seen so much more, it might have made me feel like, oh, I've got to get there, you know. How do you get there? Oh, you know, slit your throat, don't you? But yeah, no, that's not a good idea. Nah, you've got to do your time in this world. You've got to do your time, because we're kind of on parole. This world is kind of prison planet, isn't it? So we're kind of in a parole situation. We're on. Yeah. We're here to learn, evolve, spiritually and emotionally. So many people don't do that though. They just decline. They just deteriorate. But we all deteriorate a certain amount. But you've got to climb up. You've got to climb out of the. You've got to try and climb up anyway. Not that you can, but you can try. That's the main thing. That's all you can do really, is just keep trying. And that's why I keep trying to put my free energy devices. At least I'm doing something that might help somebody. If there's somebody left to enjoy it. That's a question. Oh, really. So I just get a little bit despondent. I do get a bit despondent about things sometimes. So I set up my OBS stream program to have variable bitrate, right? For those who don't know what that means, when my bandwidth latency is really bad, when there's not enough upstream speed, what it does is it reduces the bitrate to accommodate bandwidth that it can send the data out on. So occasionally you might see the quality deteriorate and then the quality come back again. That's because the variable bitrate is changing the resolution, well, the quality of the picture that you're seeing. And that's a good setting to be on, because instead of dropping frames, which is a problem, because if you drop frames you end up with gaps in the video stream, you also end up with gaps in the audio. But by having a variable bitrate, it means that you don't lose the video, you just have a lower quality video for a few seconds, or however long it takes for it to catch up. So that's the advantage of the variable bitrate. I think it's VBR or something. I just heard a twang, I don't know what that was. It's flipping Facebook. I thought I'd turn that off. Oh well. That white powdery stuff that's on the dry belt on the 3D printer, by the way, that's French chalk. That stops the rubber from chafing on the rollers. Because I previously had issues with the belt catching on the sides of the bracket that holds the roller. So I made a new pulley with sidewalls on it so that it doesn't chafe anymore. But the French chalk, I put it on previously to stop it chafing. But it's still on there, you know. It's a good thing, the French chalk, because it's a timing belt, you know. It doesn't have, it's not a smooth belt, it has cogs in it, so it doesn't skid, it doesn't slip off the pulley, off the timing. It stays in time and synchronization. But it's an advantage because French chalk actually helps preserve the rubber as well. This isn't just rubber though; it's got fibre in it. It's a non-stretchable belt. So. And the little spring in the middle is just a belt tensioner. It just maintains a constant tension on the belt, so it doesn't vary in tensile. It doesn't vary as it moves around. Keeps the belt tight all the time. So I'm waffling again, but I'm just filling time while you watch a boring video. Or live stream rather. Oh my god, look, we're at 41% on the printer. I'm at 41.4%. I'll see if I can show you that. I don't know if you can see the screen. Oh, it's a bit too whited out. We're at 41%. We're almost halfway there. Yeah, I'm going to mute the sound now. The phone battery on the streaming camera is about 24%, so it looks like the live stream is going to abruptly end if it gets to about 20% probably. Drops below that. I'm not sure exactly where it will cut off, but yeah, the camera is still on charge, but it's not getting enough juice to keep it going, so the battery's not very good. And so pretty soon the video feed is just going to disappear, and when that happens I'm just going to end the stream at that point, because both my phones actually, the one I'm watching the preview on to make sure it's working alright, is at 22%. Hang on, my audio's going funny now. My monitoring was feeding back, so I had to turn that down. So yeah, so I'm monitoring on my other phone, and that's at 22%, so I can't live stream from that phone either, because that's about to die as well. Anyway, I just thought I'd give you a heads up. But it looks like there's going to be about another 2 hours of printing to do, so there's no way I'm going to get all of it on the stream, so I'll just have to give you a video update when it's all finished. But as I said, 90% solid this is going to be. These wheels should be a lot stronger, so there'll be less chance of them breaking and cracking like the other ones did, because they were kind of hollow, you know. The infill was very it was basically made like a egg carton. The previous ones, they were very, very thin, kind of lead like lead cardboard, but lead plastic instead. But these are going to be a lot harder, and after I've acetone treated them and they've hardened, they'll be really, really, really strong. So yeah, this little sofa, which is really heavy, shouldn't be able to break the new ones, so that's a good thing, because I'm sick of repairing them. Every time I move the sofa, I break the damn wheels. Or you sit on them. If you sit on them and they're too hard. My friend Davey actually came round once, and he sat down like an elephant really fast and hard, and it just went crunch, immediately broke it. So yeah, they definitely wanted strengthening. But the test so far with the live stream in the middle of the day has been quite impressive. I mean, we've had some dropouts and that, but it's been fairly stable, really. Apart from the audio sync being out of synchronization, that's the only issue. So you're hearing the printer, but you're hearing it before it does something. So you actually the audio is advanced because the microphone's directly connected to the computer, and the camera is going through two network hubs, and that's causing delay on the video. So the video's arriving late, the audio's arriving early, so it's not synced up at all. And I can't sync it up by 10-15 seconds, that's too much. I'm just going to have to get the audio working on that other phone or something. Yeah, problems. That's why I muted the audio, because it's just going to confuse people, because the audio is actually not arriving at the same time as the video. So anyway. Well, the streaming phone, as I said before, audio doesn't work directly on that, so that's why there's an advance on the audio, because it's on the hardware side. So that arrives before the video feed. Anyway, it looks like the phone is at 20% now, and it looks like it's about to die on me any minute now. So the live stream is almost over. Yeah. I've had to put my other phone on charge actually as well on a different circuit. I've got it on a different circuit charging right now. The one I'm watching the preview on. So that should keep going now hopefully, but my live stream phone is definitely on its way to shutting down. It just shuts down without anything, without asking or anything. It just does it, you know. Low battery emergency, whatever you want to call it. Yeah, but my microphone should still work because that's on a different circuit. So, but I'm not going to be hanging around though. Anyway, I'm just going to end the stream in a minute or two. And we can play that later, and I can work out the time delays and all that stuff. And that's another reason why I ordered the USB camera, because it's got a built-in audio, and it's because it's USB hardware, so it's not through the network. So that should be instantaneous, and that'll be good for doing certain things that don't depend on the phone's latency. You know, network latency is a big problem when it comes to streaming because of the. You see, the way it works is it goes through two network hubs, right? Each hub has got a buffer in it, and it stores so many packets of data. When it gets so many packets of data, it sends the data through the network to the next computer or hub that's in line. That also stores buffers up the data, and that might take a few milliseconds or a few seconds, and then it sends that data to the computer. So it's like a fucking traffic jam, basically. Imagine a car going down a motorway and you're stopping for gas every so often. Well, that's basically what's happening. It's having to keep stopping as it goes to the network, and by the time it gets to the computer, the audio is way out of sync. Or the video's out of sync with the audio, whichever, you know. Ah, well. Well, I'm going to go make myself a cup of coffee. I bet you it ends. I bet you that camera goes out while I've gone. It always happens. Yeah, it'll happen just when I disappear out of the room. Oh, it's still going. Bloody hell. Shock. How much is left in that battery? 15%. Oh my god, it's at 15% the battery. So it's probably going to shut off at 10% then. These phones are all different. My main phone, it shuts off it goes into power saving mode at 20%. This other phone is still going at 15%. So maybe it's going to drop down until it gets to 10%. We'll see. the LED light just changed red on the streamed phone, so it looks like it's gonna go any minute now. Yeah, the LED, it started off green at the beginning when it started streaming, then it went orange, I think, and now it's red, so it's definitely about to quit on me now. Well, yeah, how many percent? Oh, we're at 9%. The battery's at 9%. Oh my god. I don't think I've seen it that low before. I know it's been that low before, I just haven't been looking at it when it's gone off. But I need you to see, I need you to test all this stuff, you see, because if I'm live streaming something more important, it's useful to know if the phone's about to die and how many percentages it is when it shuts down and all that, because it's nothing worse than it shutting down on you when you least expect it and basically leaving you in a bit of a pickle, you know. So yeah, at some point I think it might make a noise. It might go ding ding or something, or then shut off or something, or it just shut down quickly. I don't know, but we'll see anyway. See, it's a shame I don't have a little camera right now because I'm using my other phone. I'm using it to watch the preview one. If I had another camera, it would work. I could show you what the screen's doing on the other streamed phone, but I can't right now. But then if I had another phone, another camera, I'd probably be pointing it at the 3D printer's display output to show you how far we are with the printing. We're at 58.5%. It's printed. What is it? How many layers? I can't see. I can't see the layers on it. I'll have to move this. I haven't moved the knob to see that. So, oh, you told me. Let's see. Well, we're 7.2 millimeters off the bed, so that's how high it's climbed since we started. Yeah, I didn't tell me on the layers. I thought it did. Mull, I don't know what it is. Mull 100. Upper 16. E 8.23. Yeah, it doesn't seem to tell me how many layers. It used to do, I'm pretty sure it did. I don't know what happened to that. I might have changed something in the firmware, because I was messing around with the firmware when I got it because it was all messed up. I mean, it was printing all in funny places. It was it wasn't printing in the centre of the bed when my friend sent it to me from America. It was, the configuration was a bit messed up, so I was tweaking things in there to set the axis, and I might have inadvertently turned off the display for layers, because it used to tell you that on the screen. I think it did anyway, but it definitely tells you in software when you're on the computer, but I'm not using that right now. I'm not using the USB to connect to the printer, and I can't plug it in now because it'll reset it. So, but normally it tells you how many layers you're on somewhere. But you can work it out. I mean, each layer is about 0.2 millimeters, and if you work out 7.02 millimeters high off the bed, you can divide that by 0.2 to find out how many layers it's printed. I think you can do a bit of math to do that. I think that's what you do anyway. I think it's 7.2 divided by 0.2. I think that's the right sum. But even then, that's not dead accurate because there's an extra. It prints a thicker layer at the base. The first layer is a bit thicker than the rest of them. So, yeah. Well, it's a good thing about the charge we plugged into that phone, because it would have died a long time ago, because that battery just doesn't hold up on its own. I can't say how many milliamps the phone's using because I've got the light on. If I turn that light out, just give me a minute. Turn this light out. If I turn this off, I'll see how much current the phone's using. The phone is using 350 milliamps. Right, so how come the charge lead can't keep it up? I just don't know, because it can deliver 500 milliamps. Put the light back on a minute. Right, we're at 7%. The phone battery's at 7%. It can't be here much longer, that's for sure. I might have disabled the. I hope I didn't accidentally disable the automatic shutdown on that phone, because I was shutting down a lot of stuff on it because it was using power when it shouldn't be. You know, it was draining the battery when I booted it up. So anyway, either way, it'll shut itself off. Oh, by the way, I turned the light back on. You just can't see it yet. There's a huge lag on the video. So according to this, I've been live streaming for 3 hours and 24 seconds. And that phone was fully charged when I started live streaming. So with the charge lead plugged in, the live stream can't last much longer than 3 hours. But that's on the old phone. Dropped frames? None. I haven't dropped any frames, but obviously some of the frames weren't made it to YouTube because of the network latency, but we're currently using 97.6% CPU on the virtual machine. Well, it's a physical machine as well, because that's where the CPU is. We're sending out 2,520 kilobytes per second, which is about 2.5 meg, which is about what I'd expect with this provider. It's not that brilliant. Right, that's all I can see really, without opening the advanced stuff. I'm not going to mess with it, I'm just going to let it run its course. What's the battery at now? 5%. The phone battery is now 5%. The stream phone. I've been looking at these prints. They're coming out really good, really solid. There's no there's no what do you call it? Big air gaps in this. It's solid, so it's going to be pretty strong. I'll try and give you a close up while it's still working. Right, look at that. Oh shit! Hang on. Look how solid that is. Oh, phone's that is going, it's going. The screen just went dim. I think it's still 5% though. What I'll do is I'll take a photograph on my other phone later on, and I'll upload that as a thumbnail on the live stream. So I'll create a thumbnail of it. You know, I don't think this phone is going to shut itself down safely because it's at 3% now. I think it's just going to go, just going to fall flat on its face and reset. The power saving features on it don't seem to be working right. I must have disabled something, I don't know. I'm not worried anyway. I'm squeezing every last drop out of this battery by the looks of it. It'll probably do it good because it's usually overcharged. Probably do it good to get it run right down to the ground and drive it back up again, you know. So it's just gonna go flat on its face any second. Well, it's at 3%. I mean, we've only got 2% to go. I tell a lie, we're at 2% now. We've only got 2% left, so yeah, it's not going to keep going much longer. It can't do. I mean, at 0%, that means no battery. It might be hanging on though longer because of the charge lead. The charge lead itself could be getting it to hang on with its fingertips basically. Right, so what are we at now? Well, we're still at 2%. It's dropping really slow because of the charge that's coming in. The print job is at 65.5%. I'm printing at 270 degrees Celsius, by the way. ABS plastic, it seems to melt better and stick better at 270. Well, at least that is on my printer. My thermal. Oh, my phone! It just went off. It just died. It has literally just died. It's. There's a box on the screen. What's it say? Power off. Shutting down. The phone says it's powering off, shutting down. So, right, I'll better. Well, we'll just see what happens if this. See how many frames we get left coming to us before it just goes black screen on us. So it didn't just fall on its face. It didn't just do a hard reboot, a hard shutdown. Oh, that's it. It's gone down. The phone is completely on its face now. Shut down. It's recharging. It says 1%. Well, I suppose that's it. I'll have to go to desktop now. Yeah. Well, that's the end of the stream by the looks of it. Thanks for watching. Anyway, it was an interesting test. Well, we'll see you later. I mean, I tried the VLC, but that doesn't work, so no point in me showing you it because that's over here. If I click on it, yeah. Well, you wouldn't have heard nothing because there's no mic on there.